So I'm here with Blaze Bayley from Blaze Bayley, and you start your career with Child's Play. Could you talk a bit more about that?
Well, I didn't start really with
Mm.
Child's Play. I started with Wolfsbane. I had an audition for Wolfsbane and I got that. And then I jammed with Child's Play for uh, just a couple, literally like 4 rehearsals. That was it. So it's not, we didn't record anything or do anything really. So, so that's it. I'm not really that in touch with the guys much, but it was a good band, but uh, my voice just didn't suit that music, and then we just committed to Wolfsbane really, and I didn't go with anybody else. So with Wolfsbane, we started off. We were all the same level of experience. Jace Edwards and Jeff Hately started the band at school, and then I became a full member of the band, and then we had different drummers, and we found the right drummer in the end. With Steve Danger was the perfect match, and then once he was there, then it was the four of us and kind of chaos, and we all like different kinds of music from different genres as well, but we all loved metal and we all liked Motorhead, Van Halen, Iron Maiden, and those ones that we kind of met on there, but we all liked different things. And I think that's what gave us our sound, that made us, we weren't really trying to be like anybody. It was very challenging to write a song because everybody would go, oh, I don't like that bit. I don't. So it's so difficult
Mm.
to compromise to get a song written. But of course, that wasn't quite an individual sound of its time. And we wrote our own songs as well. We enjoyed playing covers, but when we started, we weren't good enough to play covers. So what we found was if we played original songs, nobody knew how bad we were.
Mm.
And then we just gradually, got better. We stuck together and it really worked for us.
Mm. After that all went fast, you played with Wolfsbane and then Iron Maiden and finally Blaze. How much experience did that bring to you?
I was very, very lucky. I think the best analogy is with sports. Football is a game that people play on a Sunday as a hobby, and also you get to the top level. It's the same rules, it's the same game, but the intensity is different. So with Wolfsbane, we did a lot of concerts, we made videos, we made albums, and did photo sessions and everything. But then in Iron Maiden, the difference is from playing regular football in the league to playing for England or France and being expected, as France did, to win the World Cup.
Mm.
That's the difference. Every night, every concert is of the you must win the World Cup tonight. And that's a lot of pressure. Of course, you're playing, you're doing the thing that you love. It is incredible to play in front of thousands of people. But for me, I think the most important thing is the music, writing the music, being a part of that, recording with the guys, being able to write songs with Dave Murray and Steve Harris and Yannick Gers and working with Nico McBrain. It was a great experience, and working in the studio on the X Factor album, Steve Harris managed to find an extra part of my voice which I didn't even know about. And that part of my voice, that darkness, which is actually a lot more of my real character, that could come out into the melodies and into the lyrics so that I was able to bring to life those lyrics in a way that I wasn't really able to before. And that gave me another place to go with my writing as well. So it's the standing on the stage, singing a song that I wrote with Iron Maiden and being in Iron Maiden, that was the incredible experience. Not just being on stage as a singer, but actually writing Man on the Edge and that being in the set list and fans enjoying that song and feeling, yeah, you know what? One of my ideas is good enough for Iron Maiden. And that really is the incredible feeling. From a different perspective, people think, oh, having loads of money, playing big concerts. But for me as an artist, I started because I loved music and I wanted to sing. So for me, the biggest thing was singing music that we wrote together and all the things that I learned. And you could take that line then from the X Factor and all the things I learned, and you can see right through all of my music, right up till the Stone album, to the Circle of Stone, you can see that link and how my voice comes. It's from Wolfsbane, it's solid, it's there. And if I'm Maiden, it changes and becomes a different thing. And it's my voice now, I have more control and there's more emotion and passion in my voice that you can hear, and also I have control of that, so I can bring that lyric to life. And that's the real joy that I have each time I record, each time I perform, is I have this incredible fire and energy that came to Wolfsbane, the chaos that we had, the 14-year-old heavy metal heart. I still have that part of me that's 14 and in love with the excitement of electric guitar. But now I'm a man and I say with that, come on now, you can't be 14, that's all the time. You can still feel that you have the enthusiasm. I do. I still have it sometimes when the big E chord comes, the big guitar melody comes. Oh, it's fantastic. It's a great feeling. And I think I'm very lucky to have had the journey that I have. And I set out, my dream was to be a heavy metal singer and be on tour around the world. So I'm living my dream. I didn't dream to be a big famous celebrity. I didn't dream to be a millionaire or anything like that. Or have a mansion. I dreamed to be a full-time heavy metal singer and tour the world. So I'm living my dream, and I'm very, very lucky, man. I've been broke a few times. I had to work a job just for the money, a job I didn't want to go to, but I had to do it. And now I live my life supported by incredible fans around the world, and I'm able to be an artist, write the music that I want, have the artwork that I want. I'm very, very lucky, and I'm very grateful to my fans that support me for making that possible.
Yeah. And after 4 albums under the name of Blaze, you finally decide to play on the name of Blaze Bayley. Why?
Well, it was a big mistake calling myself Blaze. I didn't understand at the time, but people, fans of Wolfsbane and Iron Maiden, never got the link of Blaze because Blaze was a PlayStation controller, a hockey team, a lot of other things. I didn't realize it was a really dumb, stupid mistake. When Ozzy Osbourne left Sabbath, he didn't call himself Ozzy, it was Ozzy Osbourne. And I should have called myself Blaze Bayley. And because I didn't do that, a lot of people didn't even know I was still performing. They didn't see, oh, Blaze, that's the guy from Iron Maiden, that's the guy from Wolfsbane. They just didn't realize. So my name didn't get around. People didn't know I had those albums. So that's when I had a chance to make that correction. I realized, I go, you know what? I've got to be Blaze Bayley. Because that's the name people reckon. Oh, the guy from I Maiden, the guy from Wolfsbane. So that's why it was a mistake. I had shit management at the time. I have great management now, a small team of really great people. And that was the difference. So it's a big mistake.
Okay. After the big changes from 2007 to now, you produced like 16 albums and lives. Should we call you workaholic?
No, I'm very lazy. And I try to get out of real work as much as possible. So I'm not a workaholic, but I love to sing. I love to work on my music. I love collaborating with Chris Appleton and other people, Luke Appleton and other people that I've written with. I love the excitement, the puzzle of, okay, we have this little idea and then it takes on its own life. So now we are just guiding this idea and finding out where it has to live. What is it? It has an identity. Now we have something. We must not spoil it or wreck it by overdoing it. And that's when the skill comes in. And it's very interesting to go, we need a bit that gets us from here to here, and find a bit and then go, now this shouldn't be here. It should be there. So we need another bit. Or we're going to, but it's frustrating, but it's so wonderful. The feeling of going, okay, just play from the start. Oh yeah, that's it. We've done it. You know, it's a great feeling to have that. Sometimes you've done in an hour, and sometimes you're done in 10 years. You never know.
And in 2020, you announced the name of the new album called War Within Me. But then you got sick during the promo. How are you feeling now? Finally completing this tour? You will play at the Black Lab next week.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I absolutely love coming and playing in La Belle France. I love it. I love it. For me, it's the first country where I went, and from my lyrics and some of the things people are, what does this lyric mean? And you can't get away with it in France, man. You can't get away. You own up. You are completely responsible for what you have written. And people will pick out, when I've done interviews and everything with French journalists, and it's like, and what does this line mean? And you go, well, how are they, you know, and it's obvious that it's important. And what's nice is I agonize over my lyrics, and on War Within Me, every lyric had to be positive, apart from Alan Turing, which was more truthful and questioning. Apart from that one, every lyric had to be positive and say, come on, we can do this. We can pick ourselves up. We can get there. Look, there are heroes. Ordinary people can be heroes. And you shouldn't put yourself down. Don't let other people say that you're nothing and worthless. If you have your dream, however humble it is, don't let anybody stop that dream. If your dream is to make a good omelette, or be a chef, or pass your driving test, or ride a motor, whatever that dream is, then that's yours. And don't let them say, oh, you'll never do that. Or, no, man. So we came out of this terrible situation for humanity, And I thought, if you've waited 2 years for the album of your favorite singer, and you've waited through lockdown and everything, it better be good. So we just went through it, man, just detail by note in places like, no, that doesn't sound positive. That chord, no, we have to change it. No, that vocal must do this, not that, everything. So that in the end, when you get War Within Me, you go, okay, I feel better. That's it. I feel better. Yeah. I got my Blaze Bayley album. And you go to the gym and you see there's the treadmill and there's a lot of smoke coming off the treadmill, and you look closely and what is that? What's that guy there on the treadmill there with all smoke coming off? He's the guy listening to War Within Me while he's on the treadmill. You can't stop him. That's what it's supposed to be. That's it, man. Like, oh, no, don't stop. Get out of his way. He's listening to War Within Me. And that's it. And I think, I'm so proud. We did a great job with that album. The most important thing for me is my fans. I make my music for my fans. I think of them, and I'm friends on first name terms with many of my fans. I think, oh man, they gotta like this. So it better be good. It better be good enough. What will they think of me? What will they think? So that was it. And now we have the Circle of Stone album. It's very different to War Within Me, but it's of its time.
And what is your main inspiration when you're writing lyrics and musics in general?
Well, I'm always looking for truth, some element of truth, and I'm trying to find truth in every song. If I'm writing a story, so with Circle of Stone, then it's two. Oh, is it gone? Oh. You can't see, yeah, because of the thing. But it's two halves. The record is two halves, A side and B side. So the B side 2 is a story of a forgotten tribe, a misplaced people, and the righteous man, someone who is the real leader but denies it. They call to him in his dreams. These ancestors call to him in the dream and say, come on, you must unite the tribe. You must find the forgotten tribe. You must reclaim the homeland. To do that, he must change himself and stop being selfish and superficial and materialistic. He must put away those things and he must become unselfish. And this is the story. And part of that story is mine because I've changed over the years. I used to be, I was an angry young man, very, very ambitious. Now I realize that many of the things, as I put in my song, Broken Man, I realized that a lot of the things that I strived for and wanted are completely worthless. This man, I don't want those things. I don't need those things. But that young man really thought that those things were important. So I try and find that truth. And in my philosophy of life, which is to be more stoic, then no matter how tough, I try to think one step, one more step. The storm will pass. Okay, it hurts now. It will hurt. Life isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. It will be a struggle, but where there are moments of joy, celebrate. Where
Mm.
there are great gigs, celebrate. Where you see people that you haven't seen for 5 years or whatever, or before the thing, and they're at the concert and you've had great times together, yeah, celebrate. So, however small that moment is, to take it and squeeze the juice from it and go, fantastic.
Yeah. And now another question about Circle of Stones. Who made the artwork of the album?
It's a man from Spain called Akirant, and he also did the War Within Me album. And we talked about it together, that the story that came to me was a portal. And there are hundreds of stone circles in France and around the UK from our ancestors, and many of them have a significance. And if you're sensitive, in some of these places, you can walk into that stone circle and you can feel a certain kind of energy. So, and we talked about it, and we wanted to have 13 stones. So a circle of 12 stones, the 13th stone being in the middle, because that's magical. And so that's what we did. And it was his visualization of that, which I absolutely loved. And the ancestors in this album, track 7 is the Call of the Ancestors. That's where the story starts on side 2. And that is the bagpipes are an ancient instrument. And then you have the electric guitar, which is you, the present. So the ancestors are calling to you, and you hear those two things going, and then it starts the Circle of Stone song, which tells the story then. A circle, I search for a circle of tall stones. And then in the second verse, we have Niklas from Wolf, and his voice is so different. He plays the part of the ancestors calling from the dream. I exist, I am real. And he's also, again, on Day of Reckoning. So it worked out very, very well, buddy. We always start with a whiteboard on the wall. We have a big whiteboard in the studio, and we write down titles and bits that could be a song. And slowly you go, well, what we do now, we're very lucky, we can have vinyl. We go side 1 and side 2. And you put, no, that could be side 1. And we started looking at it, and we go, you know what? If Righteous Man was on side 2, that would mean it is a story from there. And Circles of Stone goes before, and that was it. It was, and it was like it just went like this across, and suddenly you're looking at, wow, side 1 is all these statements of, like, one is about the movie Blade Runner, Roy's character in Blade Runner, with a beautiful, tragic scene where Roy says, all of these will be lost like tears in rain. And all of us who are into science fiction know that, and we quote it at each other. And I had it hanging around for you. I'd love to use that in a song. And there it was, just like tears in rain. And then the other ones are positive, and then it just, oh man, it was mad the way that it came together. And I'd taken my girlfriend I wanted to get engaged. I wanted her to be the one forever. And I said, I'm taking you to lunch. And it was the summer solstice, the winter solstice. So it's November 21st, I think. And she said, oh, it's a long way. Where is it? And I didn't say anything. And then we're at Stonehenge. I drove her. It's 4 hours from my house all the way to Stonehenge. And at the heel stone of Stonehenge, I proposed. She thanked heaven. She's with me. She accepted. And then I'm looking at the postcard of Stonehenge, which I just put up for a keepsake. And Chris Appleton, my co-producer, said, "What should we call the album?" And I'm looking at a circle of stone. Circle of Stone. And then it's about the ancestors. And my fiance has Scottish heritage. Her clan fought at Bannockburn against the English with Robert the Bruce and defeated the English for the freedom of Scotland. I didn't even know that when we started this. And then when we got in touch with Nicholas, he said, "I have a stone circle in my village." What? Yes, it's in the shape of a longship from my Viking ancestors. It's all these coincidences started to come. And the album has lyrics on it which sound like they were written after I had a heart attack, but they weren't, because the album was finished on Friday and on Saturday I had a heart attack. And in part of the lyric, it goes, "From my chest, my heart is torn. I had quadruple bypass surgery. They cut you open and they literally take your heart out of your chest, plumb it all back together and put it back in." What? And Matt, there's so many coincidences like this on Circle of Stone. It's unreal. And I don't know if you ever heard bagpipes live, if you've been close to bagpipes, but we had it here. In this room is the studio. It's a small, man, it's so loud. The hairs, we looked at each other, Chris and I, when Nicky started playing the bagpipes. He's like, "What? It's so loud. It's louder than me. I'm loud. It's louder than me." Right? Like, and you've got to plug in an electric guitar. Man, this is louder than a normal electric guitar. And you what? No wonder. Fear. You could play these things from miles away, and if you heard it coming, you'd be in fear. Oh shit, bagpipes. You know, that must have terror to some people, like the Viking horn or something. So that something about that was magical. I don't care how cheesy it sounds. Something about that was a deep connection, and it just, something happened. You know, then you know, we're doing something here. This could be important. And I'm not saying important to everyone, important to my fans that follow me and listen to my music. This could be important. This could be something that, you know, people come back to, that really means something. And it's nice that side 2 starts with something you never heard before from Blaze Bayley.
And about you talk about Circle of Stones, and you convey a message to, I guess, to take your time to see the historical past of your country. I have something, fun fact, will very sad. Like, in France, we have one circle of stones, and an organization destroyed the cycle of stones for making a supermarket. So doing an album for convey an historical message is very great. So thank you for that.
And in France, you have the greatest archaeology of Stone Age man as well. You have there the biggest dig, which confirms that people were living in the Stone Age way for how much was it? It's more than 2,000 years. just the same, no wheel, no nothing, just the same, that we were just the same, didn't change. And there they lived. Our ancestors lived there in that site, on that same place. You have this rich archaeological find there, which is still giving us great insights into who our ancestors were and how they lived, but they didn't change. If you think about the way, the world that you and I are in, then when I started my career, there were no mobile phones. There was no internet. So, wow, I remember talking to my grandmother, and there was no TV. There was the radio. And before then, there was one telephone in the whole street. You would go to someone's. So the way things have changed in the last 200 years of industrialization is incredible compared to our Stone Age ancestors that lived that same way for thousands of years. It's incredible how it's happened.
Yeah, it's quite frightening.
Yeah, and that, I think I felt the need to connect. And after my heart attack, the first place that we went for a weekend was in Cornwall. It's called Boscastle. And there they have a museum of witchcraft. And we're still doing the artwork for the album at that time. And that was very, very interesting to see other views of belief and also pre-Christian belief and what our ancestors valued. And they valued nature and the environment. And since industrialization, the general thing, not each of us, but the general thing of the powerful is not to value nature and the environment. Big business and the super rich, they don't value nature and the environment. So I feel the need somewhere, there's something in there to have something of my ancestors, to feel that call of it is interesting.
Okay. My last question will be about you and only you. Can you tell me anything you want, your last words for your fans, about the tour, about the upcoming release of Cycle of Stones? Feel free to tell what you
we're
want.
coming to Lille, to Black Lab, Thursday, 29th, doors 7 p.m. Meet and greet is included in your ticket. Please try and limit to 5 items or less. If you have more, please contact me at blazebayley.net to see if we can organize a bit more time for the sign-in. There is only one Blaze Bayley on Facebook, and that is official Blaze Bayley. That's it. And I wish good health to all of my friends in France. I can't wait to get back and sing my new songs for everybody.
Thank you so much, Blaze.
Thanks, Connor. Thank you very much. And thanks for having me on your show.
Well.